Hey, what's up, everybody? This is swgg on Swagger Gaming, bringing you another World of Warcraft Battle for Azeroth beta first look video. Today we will be looking at the Feral Druid. Please remember, all of this information is from the beta test server, so everything is subject to change. As of now, there are not many changes to the Feral Druid in terms of baseline abilities, talents, or playstyle. It does appear that they are scaling back some of the ability damage and putting it into auto attacks. This feels like a continuation of the Feral Druid overhaul they did halfway through Legion to create more diversity in talent choices and to make the rotation less punishing if you mess it up. The biggest change to the Feral Druid is not actually listed in the spellbook. Feral Druids have baseline passive modifiers to regrowth healing and Brutal Slash, Ferocious Bite, Maim, Rake, Rip, Shred, and Thrash damage in order to give other Druid specs some of these same abilities. The healing regrowth modifier has changed from plus 20% to plus 31%, and the damage multiplier for all the abilities listed has been reduced from plus 43% to plus 29%. This is a fairly large nerf to overall feral damage on these abilities, but it is offset by cat form now giving a passive 40% damage buff to auto attacks. This will be interesting to see how this plus the stat squish play out in raid settings, but from my testing so far, feral still feels fairly strong. Dash has been changed from a 3-minute cooldown at 70% movement speed for 15 seconds to a 2-minute cooldown with 60% movement speed for 10 seconds. This is a slight nerf in total distance covered, but it may actually prove to be better in both questing and endgame scenarios because it will be available more often and you rarely need the full 15-second boost. Bear form has had its stamina bonus reduced from 55 to 25%, and its armor bonus increased from 200 to 220%. This may come into play in a raid setting when trying to soak mechanics, but overall I'm not too worried about this change. Nurturing Instincts is a passive ability not shown in your spellbook, and increases your spell power by a percentage of your attack power. This has been nerfed from 120% to 100%. Tiger's Fury has had a slight tweak, increasing its active duration from 8 to 10 seconds, but the energy gained on cast has been reduced by 10. Remove Corruption has had its mana cost reduced from 13% to 6.5% of base mana, and Stampeding Roar has had its range increased from 10 to 15 yards. Rebirth has been changed from an instant cast and given a 2-second cast time. This is affected by haste, so hopefully with gear it will be closer to 1.5 seconds. The amount of health on res has been increased from 60% to 100% as well. Our Infected Wounds passive has also been nerfed and now causes Rake to reduce the target's movement speed by 20% instead of the 50% on live. Feral Druids have picked up 4 new spells, none of which are actually new to the game. The first 2 are Aquatic Form and Flight Form. These are now broken out from Travel Form in the spellbook so you can individually hotkey them. Soothe was added back to the game and is a 40-yard range instant cast spell that soothes the target, dispelling all enrage effects. Lastly, they gave us back Hibernate, which is a 1.5 second cast at 30-yard range and puts a beast or dragonkin to sleep. Damage will break this effect. There were only a few tweaks to the Feral Druid talent tree and only 2 brand new abilities added. Tiers 1, 4, and 5 were completely untouched. Like with all Druid specs, Tier 2 had Displacer Beast removed from the game and replaced by Tiger Dash. Tiger Dash activates cat form and gives you a 200% movement speed boost, reducing gradually over 4 seconds. This ability is fine from a movement perspective, but does not feel nearly as good as Displacer Beast. Tier 3 has the same balanced Guardian and Resto affinity choices as on live, and they operate exactly the same with a couple of ability changes. Guardian affinity no longer gives Mangle as it is now a baseline spell, and Resto affinity now gives you Wild Growth instead of Healing Touch. The only change to Tier 6 is Brutal Slash has had its recharge time reduced from 12 to 10 seconds, giving it a slight buff. In Tier 7, Moment of Clarity operates the same, but has had its damage component reduced from 20% to 15%. Blood Talons, in contrast, has seen a slight buff, increasing your damage after casting Regrowth and Roots by 25%, up from 20% on live. Alun's Guidance has been removed and replaced by a brand new talent called Feral Frenzy. This talent costs 25 energy and has a 45-second cooldown. It claws your target 5 times for physical damage, leaving a 6-second bleed and generating 5 combo points. This is a pretty cool ability if you know you can stick to the target for the duration. Just know if you get CC'd, turn your character wrong, or generally move away from your target, you'll stop generating the combo points. You are able to cast other abilities while this is going on, however. Overall, Feral Druids really have not seen many changes, but this is to be expected because of the overhaul they did during Legion. It will be very interesting to see how the shifting of power away from abilities and into auto attacks plays out at max level. That is everything I have for you today. If you want to see a specific class and spec, please let me know in the comments down below, and I will make sure to move it up on the list. If you enjoyed this video, please think about subscribing to the channel. It's a tremendous help and it's greatly appreciated. Thanks again and have a great one.